Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Legacy Wealth Talk, where we all can be open to important conversations regarding various topics related to life transformation, love, happiness, well-being, relationship, and wealth. My name is Nomsa Clara Mnube. I am the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the co-founder of Legacy Wealth Talk. I have three experts with me today: Dr. Biget, our guest panelist, and Nadia Dubiel, our guest panelist, and Kamal, our guest panelist. I am going to let our experts introduce themselves. Also, they can lay out their professional credentials and expertise. Over to you, Nadia, please.
Hi, thank you, Namza. Hi, everyone. My name is Nadia Dubiel. I am body intelligence coach, and I have a superhuman academy where I teach people basically how to be the true self. We're living in a world when we bombarded with information. We are being told what to do, how to think, how to behave, and we actually never get to know ourselves. So I created a school and my own teachings when I take people on a journey of self-discovery. So that's me. Thank you.
Over to you, Dr. Biget.
Thank you very much, Numsa. Good afternoon or good morning if you are where I am in the United States. I am Birgit Ten. I am from Los Angeles, the US, and I am a grief transformation and life success speaker, author, and coach. And my passion is to help you and those whom you care thrive through any adversities and challenge, including COVID and other adversities, and be able to win and doing all with more ease and fun.
Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. Over to you, Kamal.
Thank you, Nomsa. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. My name is Kamal. I am a certified NLP trainer, master practitioner, a hypnotherapist, and I am also a certified life purpose coach. Together with my business partner, we have created our company, Ma'ad Coach, where we specialize in helping people create a life of purpose. And that life of purpose is basically how to take a step forward into creating a better place for your life to live and others.
Thank you so much, Kamal. Hi, Clara.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. My name's Clara Rufai. I'm a qualified lawyer and compliance professional, but there are several other ways in which I express myself. I express myself as a speaker, a coach, a mentor, and I'm also the editor of the Shine magazine. I run a podcast, a weekly podcast that's called the Shine Capsules, which basically is something that you ingest that helps you to shine from the inside out. And I keep myself busy by building platforms and systems and organizing forum where people can show up and shine in their true brilliance and in the authenticity of their lives.
Thank you so much today. So our topic today is why accepting your dark side will set you free. So when Nadia sent me this topic, I really laughed. I find it really hilarious. I was like, we have to go deep. She's actually making us go deep with our lives. So I laughed and I was so grateful that she chose this topic. So I am going to start with Nadia. What is actually dark side?
Yeah, thanks, Namza. I think it's very important to talk about this because that is the topic that a lot of people avoid because it's all this negative, it's dark, and people have all of this they imagine all of these crazy horrible things when they hear dark side, and I haven't seen a lot of great information out there that share the truth about this, because we are everything. There is a very beautiful Native American saying that we have two wolves in our heads, in our minds, basically a bad wolf and a good wolf. And a bad wolf is our ego, it's our victim, it's our dark side actually, and it's still part of us. So this is a side of us that make us angry, that make us frustrated, jealous, shame, guilty, and creates all of this pain and suffering in our world. And then we have a good wolf, and good wolf is our creator side. It's our higher self, basically, and that is the place that not a lot of people unfortunately go too often, because we are just too empowered, to overpowered, sorry, not empowered, too overpowered by the dark side, by this bad wolf, because it's highly addictive. And the main issue why people have suffered so much in the world, because we are addicted to thinking, and we use our mind, our heads, basically, to think way too much, and we dwell on things. We create all of these, negative emotions, these experiences in our life that make us suffer, and they don't let us follow our dreams and what our higher self, what our hearts truly wants. So learning about our dark side is very powerful and basic step for anyone who wants to really live purposeful life, as what Kamal is teaching as well, and all of us, basically. So if you don't really know yourself, all of you, you will never be able actually to accept yourself, and you will never be able to see what is actually dragging you down, what is stopping you from achieving all these beautiful ideas that you have in your head, and for some reason you cannot put out into the world, put out into reality. So dark side is part of us that we deny, that we don't want to accept, because we just think that we have to build this perfect boxes of human beings, because we see all these wonderful perfect homes and people and couples on social media and internet, and we think that that's what life is about, and that life is not about really the truth, and learning about what is really about ourselves, that doesn't let us to shine our light. So that is our dark side. So doing inner work, learning about this unconscious, limiting, sabotaging behaviors that we have, these thought patterns that constantly run in our head, is crucial for anyone. And if there are parts of there is a beautiful, powerful teachings called Essene teachings. It's a very ancient knowledge. I think Christian religion took a lot of lessons from that philosophy, where they teach you basically that people mirror parts of yourself that you lost or you don't want to accept about yourself. And a lot of these mirrors that you experience in life are your dark side, basically, are parts of yourself that you don't want to accept. So for example, if you come across and they really annoy you, and they really trigger with you so many negative emotions, it's an indication that you have some healing to do, and it could be an indication that there is a part of yourself that you don't want to accept, because you think it's wrong, and you shouldn't be this way, and you shouldn't be doing this, so you're judging that part. And there is so much more information, but really dark side is as I learned recently as well in a beautiful course about alchemy. So alchemy is all about changing lead into gold. So our lead is actually, so through alchemists, through life magicians, they are able to change this lead, these bad experiences, the dark side, and use that energy and shift it and change it into creating a gold, basically. And that's what we truly want, our life purpose of our lives over here. So learning about the dark side will really help you and give you a lot of energy and power and awareness to change your life for the best life you can have. So I can talk about this for ages. So I will give a chance to other to express themselves. But yeah, that's my bit on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Francis Bacon says, in order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be presented. So the darkness must be presented. So I'm gonna come over to you, Clara. Could you please add to what Nadia has just said, or you have some comment to what you want to add?
Yes, I definitely do. Nadia, thank you for that. I mean, she is obviously an expert on that subject matter, and you can see she's very passionate about it. And I totally agree with a lot of what Nadia said, that you have to sort of like examine the things. You have to, first of all, admit that you have a dark side. You know, everywhere you go, people ask, like she said, people view it or think about it as a negative thing. And you might see somebody who perhaps is a top professional, a lawyer, a corporate worker, or somebody who works in an office or somewhere, thinking in their heads to themselves, of course I don't have a dark side. What do you mean dark side? Dark side is for dark people. You know, I'm you know, straight up, I've got a good job, I've got a good family. But to me, I would, you know, I would actually define the dark side as your prison. And I do believe, again, that everybody has a prison. And what is your prison? Your prison is anything that contains you, that limits you, that hinders you, that keeps you down, that stops you from being the best that you can be. And some of us is the prison of shame. Some of us is the prison of fear. Some of us is the prison of past experiences that we haven't quite faced up to and dealt with. I have my own prison, like, you know, that was born out of a trauma, you know, a trauma that I suffered years ago when I was much younger. And I had to deal with that. And that was what sort of part of the things that I discussed in my book, my first book, which I launched in 2016. And the title of that book is simply Prison Break. And it talks about the tagline says, you know, taking the leap from limitation into liberation. So when you're sitting in your prison is where, as Nadia said, you have all those limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, the things that won't let you be the fullest expression of yourself, the things that you, maybe things that you've done in the past, decisions you've taken that you wish you could go back and rewrite. And you wish you could go back and turn back the hands of time. I wish that I knew back then what I knew now. I would have handled this situation differently. I would have not just random things. I would have not taken that decision to terminate a pregnancy, just as an example, because I was afraid of going the journey alone, because my partner left me, because, you know, just certain decisions that we've taken that we're not proud of. But there is also the subtler side, the more subtle side, where, as I said, in my situation, something happened to me, precisely the death of two younger sisters in one day, in one incident. And that, you know, sort of like pulled me into a spiral of depression, where, being a Christian, I began to doubt that there was even God. I began to doubt his goodness, and I began to doubt, how could you, on your watch, how is it possible for you to let this happen? And you want me to still believe you, trust you, love you, pray to you, worship you? So that was, in a sense, my dark side, because I went through a period where nobody could reach me. And we were all hurting, you understand. As a family, we were all hurting. So I couldn't go to mother, father, or anybody else for succor. I had to deal with my demons myself. But the good thing is that I did deal with it. I did come out of my darkness into my light. And that is by recognizing that what had happened had happened. And I had to sit down, because normally on a good day, I'm a die-hard optimist, right? I always see the glass as half full. So I sat down and I said, these two little, they were 14 and 16, by the way, these little, you know, lovely, amazing girls have gone. They didn't know, we didn't plan for it. They didn't plan for it. It just happened. It was a freak accident, a boat accident in which they both drowned. And I said, they're gone. Their lives have been cut short. And I know you're angry. This is me talking to myself, how I dealt with my dark side. I said, I know you're angry, but realize this, that they've gone. They can no longer live their lives or take decisions or do anything, but you're here, and you're here for a reason. So you need to leave. And on that day, in that season, I took the decision to begin to make my life count for their sakes, but also for mine, to make sure that I lived my life as fully as possible. And I have to say, I haven't looked back since then. So yes, everybody has a dark side is the one thing that I want to bring out in agreeing with Nadia. And that for me, that dark side, I define it as the prison. So it's for us to find out, for me, what is my prison? For Nadia, what is her prison? And how do you navigate yourself? How do you jailbreak? How do you break out of prison and go from your, if you like, from your prison to your palace, where you are the king and the queen and you are shining in all your brilliance and in all your essence?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Clara. I got the rewriting. I love the rewriting story. Rewriting, the rewriting, not blaming. Thank you so much. If any audience, those who are watching, please take notes, rewrite your story. Don't blame. She spends all her life blaming God, but God had given her a chance to actually breathe and be impacting the world, and that's what she's doing. And thank you so much, Clara. I'm gonna come to you, Kamala. I'm staying on this question, by the way. I need to hear the different views. I'm staying here. Kamal, I'm coming to you.
All right, well, thank you, Clara, and thank you, Nadia, for your explanations. And well, you stole my story, Nadia, so now I have to find another story. But I've got a plan B, don't worry. So let's put it this way. Should we take the road of Robert Louis Stevenson from Dr. Jekyll and Hyde and say, in each of us, two natures are at war, the good and the evil, and all our lives, the fight goes on between them, and one of them must conquer, but in our own hands lies the power to choose what we want most to be? Or should we take Hamlet's version and Shakespeare, which is, there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so? From an NLP and a coaching perspective, that sentence, when it was sent to me, Namsa, I was like, I had a gold mine of questions to ask here. But let's take that road of the NLP perspective, because in essence, in NLP, we suppose, or we believe, that all behavior has a positive intention, even if the action itself isn't necessarily positive. And from my point of view, I think the dark side, as you call it, is more of an unresourceful state. It can be a thought, a belief, a behavior, like all of you explained. It all depends on what it is that you are unresourceful about. To me, the dark side can lead one to a series of failures, or, as I like to call it, successful attempts at not reaching what you want. I don't believe in failures. So in other words, procrastination can be a dark side. It pushes you away from stepping closer to your goals, living in the past, like you mentioned, Clara, of one's failures. I'm going to use that quoted. Prevents you to move forward and find your reasons to reach out further. Perhaps also living in your dreams in the future, where you imagine what it's like, you visualize your dreams, but become too scared to take a move, causing you to stagnate in life. So again, the NLP perspective, there's no good or bad, and there's no right or wrong. It's just what is resourceful and what isn't. So when we explore these two words, I think we can agree, all of us together, by how we've said it, that it's more of what makes you move forward, what, or not actually, what prevents you from being the person that you want to be. And but some of us might think that it's the Force in Star Wars as well, so we're never sure either. But yeah, that's my opinion anyway.
Thank you so much, Kamau. I like it when you say the dark side can cause a failure in your life. It can, because if you are holding on to the past, you know, We are all wounded in life, and if you can't deal with our past properly, it can leave us broken, it can leave us disappointed. And for me, there's one thing that I hate in my life is living in poverty and feeling sorry for myself and holding on to the past. I just don't like that. And it's something that I have learned the hard way, that I cannot live in the past. I have to hold on to the future, like Clara was saying. I've lost so many people in my life. I've lost my dad, I've lost my stepdad, and I lost my stepmom. But when I wanted to feel sorry for myself, I was like, hang on a minute. I still got my mom. And I had to be grateful for that woman being in my life and just forgetting up and just embrace the memories that I had with those who have passed. And that it helps me to be who I want to be by embracing my shame and embracing my guilty and basically wiping the tears away from myself. It just helps. For those who are watching, some people that watch the talk shows or they read books, they think everything happens overnight and they start being hard on themselves. It has taken us years and years to actually to be where we are. So if you are starting to embrace who you are, if you have bad days, it's okay. So embrace it, embrace your bad days and pick yourself up. So I'm gonna come to you, Dr. Beggett. Dr. Bigot, could you please? I need to hear your own opinion on this one.
Absolutely. So I think I just want to refresh the questions. Your questions was what is the dark side, and so for me, it's anything that your dark side is anything that is still haunts you in any manner. And it could be it could be, as the earlier panelists, Nadia, Kamal, and Clara said, it could be a fear that is restricting you, that does not want, it's good for you to be taking certain actions, but you are just not being able to do that. And then over time, you feel this fear that's going to become overpowering you. And could be something that has happened in the past. Being a grief transformation specialist, a lot of people come to me with shame and guilt. Some things that happened in the past, and sometimes it's something that they did. Sometimes it's a matter, some things that they observe, but it is a lot of time. It's just anything that is constricting us, and it's become, like Clara say, it's like a jail around you, and practically it's like the monster in the closet. Then you just kind of, it's lingering there, it's lurking there, and it's the boogeyman. If at least in the US there is an expression of the boogeyman, and actually it's it's back there, and it's behind your mind, and it could be in any form. It could be anything that you have discomfort, and just like as the monster in the closet or the boogeyman, we actually know that if we open the closet and put take a flashlight or turn on the light, it's not there. It's you just, once you shine the light of awareness, when you face the dark side, like your mom perhaps said, okay, come with me, and let's open the closet, turn on the light, and now you face the closet face to face, and now there is no boogeyman in there. And so that is to me, the dark side is anything that can still constrict you, whether it is shame and guilt that cause a lot of grief, or it is other things now that's like Kamal said, procrastinations, fear, something that you still don't like about, even say, your body.
The boogeyman is coming to get you from WWE with worms, with the shame and guilty. You made me laugh. Thank you so much, Dr. BK. So I'm gonna come to you, Kamal. You guys are making me laugh, and you know, it's like when someone tells you the truth, and the truth can either upset you, or it can break you, or it can make you laugh and say, "Thank you for giving me this." Um, how will this dark side set you free, Kamal?
Again, a word that has to be defined here. Like, it's what type of freedom are you calling it? I mean, if we call it freedom, I call it possibilities and options in opening up ourselves to reach or achieve any block we have. So I'll post that as my definition of that freedom, and from that premise, um, the people accepting things just because they are said, it's not necessarily something that I do. Like my doctors, they go nuts for me. I keep questioning their methods and why to do this and how am I doing that and what's the purpose behind that. It's not because I think I know better. It's just that I want to know what they know. But perhaps that's another subject. Maybe I need therapy. I don't know. But if we stay on topic, we're talking about setting one free, and that freedom, you can only give it to yourself. It's the understanding of how your mind functions, why it has caused you to be in this unresourceful state, and the results that may open up once you have reached that resourceful state that you've been looking for or that you've needed. So the whole concept of free is very subjective to each person. As I mean, as I continue to talk about it from an NLP perspective, I find that more than often clients that come to me have chained themselves to their thoughts. And these thoughts turn into everyday actions or inactions. The question here is how does one understand or find understanding in finding your resources or your resourceful state to free yourself? Well, if you how it helps you, well, it frees your mind from the incessant nagging that sometimes haunts us or haunts you at night before bedtime, or when you're trying to have a quiet, nice glass of wine, or even when you're trying to read peacefully. And these thoughts, they come most of the time when your mind is idle. And what you do with them will either chain you to your inability, or it will move you forward and it will transform your life to the better. That transformation to me is the freedom. That moment that you decide you want to change and apply the techniques or learning experiences that you've had to move forward and achieve your goals. The freedom to realize that how you can make a decision based on your emotional mastery and concept, and the concept that you are at any time free to make a choice in your life. So to sum up and answer your question, I think it frees you by allowing you the possibilities and options to your choices where you couldn't see any.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kamal. We do have a choice in life to do whatever we want to do. And what you were saying about questioning your doctor, you are normal. Trust me. You have to question if there's. I have my GP. My GP is actually nuts. When I'm sick, when he prescribes something, he says, actually, it tells me the truth. It says the antibiotics actually don't make you feel better. People think they do, but because it's the mindset, they don't. So I'm like, keep talking. So he would just keep talking. So every time I go, he knows, he will say, instead of you taking antibiotics, go take this at home, because he know that I'm open to the advice. I don't want really to drag myself with the medication and stuff. So he knows he can speak the truth. Although he's a doctor, he can speak the truth. And I will say, in these few days, if you don't get better, come back. And it works. I just I do all sorts of things. I eat garlic every day. It's good for your brain. Garlic is good for everything. So thank you so much. And I'm going to come to you, Dr. Pickett. Could you please add on this? How will it set you free? Your own opinion, please, in your experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's good that you're talking about the dark side and I'm just going to make fun a little bit of this. Talking about the dark side, eating garlic definitely is a good thing because then you can ward off vampire from the dark sides. But why is it a good thing to be facing, and how is facing the dark side can set you free? Well, a couple things. Back to the original that we share, how being the dark sides, if there is something that's constricting you, and a lot of time, like Kamal says, it is in your mind, and it's just keeping you where it is. If it is a guilt or a shame that, let's say, that you have, and you don't want to do certain things because of that, and definitely then, like Clara said, you're putting yourself in a prison in multiple different ways. Sometimes one of my dark side back in the day was I have because of something that somebody said, when I was very, very young, I was a child, I have great shames about my legs. At some point in my life, when I was about 11 years old, I was told that I was a stiff, clumsy, ugly duckling with big, ugly legs, or something in that aspect. And as a child, I took it in certain way, and I said, oh, okay, I have big, ugly legs. I will never wear a skirt or a shorts or anything like that. I must hide my big, ugly legs under a trousers. And that become my monster, so to say, my boogeyman and my dark side. And of course, that's limit me in selections of clothing, not to mention that at the very least. And a lot of people, as I grew up, they said, why don't you wear dress? You would look really good with dress, particularly with shorter skirt dress. And I said, no, I don't like dress, that's not the truth. The truth is I was too shameful because of what's in my mind, like Kamal says. And then from there, it's also restrict me in being able to do many things. And then as I face my dark side, that I realized the truth, that there is no such a thing, it's just people perceptions, then I was able, after a lot of work, I was able to face that and then say, okay, well, I have good, strong leg. Yes, they are big and muscular, but they're very helpful for me to go hiking, which I love doing, and also dancing. And when I'm able to do that, it's actually allow me not only to be able to wear what I love, and, whatever it is, if it's summer, wear a shorts, wear a dress or something. And then even better, it's actually allow me to say, okay, I embrace this, and it leads me to create being from my appreciations of my life and my freedom to create a grief recovery program called Dance Away Sadness, Move Beyond Your Grief. And so being able to face our dark side and shine a light of awareness to that, and that knowing that it is something that a lot of time, like Kamal says, it's in our mind, will set you free, will allow you to do what it is that you would love to do and to create what it is that you would love to create. And when you are able to do that, bring more freedom and more good to yourself as well as to others.
Thank you so much, Bigot, Dr. Bigot. If anyone is watching, please, you don't have to be ashamed of who you are, even if the things that you were told when you were a baby or when you were a teenager or an adult, even now, you don't have to be afraid, because those people that are telling you these things, they are not your creator. You have your own creator. Some people have their own God, and some people, they don't believe in anything. So you believe in the things that you believe in. We are all created to be, basically, we are beautiful. unless you tell yourself otherwise. Everyone is beautiful because beauty comes from within. This body is something that comes with it, but beauty comes from within. So if there's anyone out there who's been told otherwise, just ask yourself, who is this person who has told you otherwise? So I'm gonna come to you, Nadia, but I need to ask you, because I'm gonna go back to the question with Clara, but I need you to add, why do people find it so hard and they're afraid to accept all parts of themselves, like what Dr. Bigot was saying, please?
Is it me? Sorry.
Pardon?
Is it me? Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a very important question as well. And you know, as you, Namza, said before, people have a choice. We always have a choice, but unconsciously people choose they choose the dark side to win, because we are emotionally attached, basically, to all the experiences, all the traumatic experiences. So people told us something, that we're ugly, that we're stupid, that we're not worthy, that we cannot do anything. And as children, because usually all of this dark side is created when we are children, because we are, as Kamal probably will confirm, our brain is at different frequencies, is in theta state, so it absorbs everything like a sponge. So we just, you know, take everything in, and someone offends us, someone makes us feel ashamed and guilty, and you know, hurt us in some way, and it creates emotional attachment. And through the rest of the life, basically, we stay attached to these words, to these experiences, and we keep giving it power. So if you look at your life, and if you keep recreating this negative, I call them nasties, these negative emotions, which are okay, because of course they indicate something, but that's another talk. That you keep recreating the same experiences, it means that you keep giving power to your dark side, because you are emotionally attached to it, and it's difficult to choose. To give power, basically, to choose your good wolf, to choose your creator, to choose your higher self, because your mind is so used to following the same patterns, the same cycles, the same behaviors, the same actions, and it's not easy to just to remove that power, to that attachment, unless you bring it to the light, really, unless you're self-aware. And you know, shift your energy higher, and you know, really get to know your higher self. So it's not that easy, actually, to give power to your higher self, because people don't realize that we are so attached and anchored in the dark side, even though we don't want it. But you know, what you resist persists. So we don't understand that we are really like so bite basically bite. I think it's called bite. Into it. That's why people are afraid, and that's on the like mechanical side of it. But when it comes to accepting, why people don't like to accept the dark side is because of the society that we live in, because we are afraid, basically, to get hurt, to be rejected, when we accept this part of ourselves that actually hurt us when we were children. So because there's this fear behind it, that when we'll be fully ourselves, something bad will happen, because when we were children, we were fully expressive, and we were ourselves, actually, and something traumatic happened, someone punished us, someone shut us down, and automatically our head thinks, okay, I cannot be myself, I cannot express myself, so this is bad to be this, like this, and we accept it as our dark side. And we live our life basically thinking that we cannot be like this, because we're gonna get hurt, something bad will happen, and this unconscious fear is keeping people away from liberating ourselves from this limiting beliefs, really, and becoming a whole, basically becoming complete. So as long as we don't accept our dark side and who we truly are, like everything, we will always miss some pieces, and we will always look out to other people they better, they have it all, they better than me, I would like to this, I will, because we never feel like we basically we complete, we amazing, we incredible. So so that's such powerful knowledge, and people are driven by fear basically because of that emotional attachment, and being afraid to be hurt again. That's why they don't want to, you know, be honest with themselves and accept basically themselves. So thank you. I hope you understand what I mean.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nadia. Fear will always be there, actually. People always hurt you. They'll always say things that are going to hurt you. And like what you are saying, Nadia, we are easily influenced by the world, basically. And we have to, we basically need to accept who we are. As long as you accept who you are as a person, you'll be in the right path. And it's something that is not easy. And for me personally, I have had to accept who is Nomsa. If you don't like Nomsa, it's fine, because you didn't create me. If you are not my creator, you cannot define me. So that is my actually quote that is in the house. If you are not my creator, you cannot define me. So that means every negative thing that comes my way, it is not for me. It's just for me to hear, to listen to it, and just and not to follow it. Thank you so much. And Clara, I'm gonna come to you. How will this dark side set you free? I'm gonna come back to you to this question. If you want to add to what Nadia has just said, you can add to it. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, I certainly will add to what Nadia said. I mean, picking up also a little bit on what Dr. Brigitte said, because she talked about the bogeyman. And that just kind of reminded me of the, by now, possibly popular definition of what fear is, which is false evidence appearing real. And how that when she spoke about how the bogeyman doesn't really exist, all it takes is someone older, wiser, who knows better to say, oh, come with me, stop being silly now. There's no boogeyman in the closet. And they open up. And as she said, they shine the light of awareness. That's what chases all the skeletons in the, you know, the dark things in the cupboard, the demons and everything away. So that most of the time, the reason we sit so long in our jail cells and in our prisons and never live our lives fully is because we are afraid to confront. We are afraid to, first of all, be honest about, this is who I am, and this is not who I want to be. This person is not the successful, the happy, the cheerful, or this, you know, whoever I want to be. This is different from who I want to be. But in order for me to admit that, I have to see, I have to tell myself or accept that I'm less than I want to be. But that usually is the stepping place, the starting place. That is so important. And that also reminds me of a definition of fear, or a way of thinking about fear, in the sense that there are two ways to look at fear. The concept of fear is that, you know, it could be FEAR, fear everything and run. That is, run back deeper into your cell, into your jail, run back into your darkness, or face everything and rise. So you face your demons, you face the boogeyman, you face all the things that are challenging you, all the talk in your head, the negative, you know, the yada, yada, yada. You face it and you give it a countering mental script. Because there's that script that is in our heads, as I'm sure Kamal will tell us better. I mean, that tells you how you are less than, how you are, you know, and he says, look at it as a way of, as it's almost as if it's a continuum. There are two sides, he says. There's no good or bad, or, you know, failure or whatever. Everything is part of a continuum. It's part of a learning process, because even when you fail, it's taken that the guy who, you know, gave us the light bulb, apparently he had tried and failed some thousands of times, and every single time he failed, he said, oh, well, that's another way not to do it then. I'll just go on and try something else, until eventually, voila. So that's what I would say. I would say that the moment, the day that you wake up to your true self is the day you decide that this is, I am made for more. You place value on your life. You place premium on your life. Look at the world over. Even all the bad things that are happening in the world, whether it's terrorism or bad governance and all those things, is as a result of somebody trying to subjugate somebody else is as a result of, just as an example, the terrorist thinking that he has the right to take somebody else's life. It's as a result of a corrupt government thinking, not placing, enough of a premium on the lives of those that they are leading. And even when we do it to ourselves, it's as a result of us making ourselves smaller than we are. But we are big, we are huge. Every one of us carries a light of greatness inside of us. But at some point, we've been made to believe, and this is all the noise and all the talk, the world has made us to believe that we're all living, most of us, not everyone, most of us are living a fraction of our lives. And I suppose, how your dark side can even set you free. Your dark side, I do believe, can usher you. Remember, I'm an incurable optimist. The glass is always half full. There has to be some sense, some rhyme, some rhythm. It can usher you into your brightness, into your light, but it takes some work. It takes you, as Brigitte said, opening up the closet and shining the light of awareness. It takes you sort of like facing up to that bogeyman that is caging you, that is keeping you. You know how you stay in your house and you close all the windows and say, I can't go out in the street because there's a lion out in the street, and there might not actually be a lion or anything waiting to devour you. So it's always having to go back to that place of reality, reintroducing yourself to yourself, letting yourself, telling yourself how powerful and how great you are. And this is how that I came about fashioning what I call the Shine philosophy. So the SHINE, I think of it as the process. It's a process, right? It's a transformational ideology. It's a 5-step ideology. But I think of the process as the process of soaring higher into new expressions. So that's the S, the H, the I, the N, and E. Soaring higher into new expressions. And the reason I gave it that definition is because some of us can think that because we're at the beginning of our journey, we're not as good as somebody else who is midway or who is on top. But I submit to you that everybody is always going to have a next level up. So no matter how accomplished you are, no matter where you are on your journey, there's yet more ground to cover. There's more territory to be taken. So when I tell myself that it's the same for Nadia, it's the same for Kamal, it's the same for everybody. Nobody is better than the other person. I'm on my journey. I'm listening to my own drum beat. I'm looking at my own song sheet and I'm singing, my life. I'm singing my song that I'm meant to sing in this life. So I really do think that recognizing, as long as you recognize it and as long as you are happy to put in the work, first of all, admitting to yourself that there is a dark side. That's not necessarily anything to be hot under the collar about. It's something to just sit down and say, okay, so how do we go about it? What is my dark side? Where do I want? Where am I? Yeah, and where do I need to go? And what is that path that leads me from where I am to where I need to go? And then it's a question of having measurable, steps. You start, you harness, you identify, you network, you express. Those are the 5 steps of the Shine philosophy. You start, you harness, you identify perhaps your message, who you are called to serve, how you are called to serve them, things like that. You network. What we're doing now is networking virtually, online, offline. You network by building collaborative relationships that you can leverage off of. And then you express. Let your voice be heard, sing your song, speak your words, write your books, whatever it is. The moment we busy ourselves doing those things and chasing after our own personal definition of success, because the world will try to give you its definition, but my definition of success, never ever going to change until the day I leave this world, is that it's the process of taking root downward so that you can bear fruit upward. So I'm always digging deep. I'm always finding the root of something. I'm always, putting a little bit of fertilizer, manure, some water, so that I can grow and I can express myself. And the expression, that outward one that you can see and I can see of you and Kamal can see of me, is so beautiful. If it is authentic, it is so beautiful. Most beautiful thing in the world. So yes, I do think that recognizing you have a dark side and finding your way, desiring to find your way into your light, can actually make you a better person.
Thank you so much, Clara. Thank you so much. I am actually, hold on. I'm on my way to find my light. Here's my light.
No, sir.
Honestly, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I'm on my way to find my light. There is more I can accomplish in this world. So I'm on my way to find my light. So what I'm going to do, guys, to my audience, I'm going to speak to you guys after the talk. I need the part 2 of this because I feel that the audience can benefit. So we're going to have the dark side part 2. So we're going to go back with, we're going to have part 2 of this talk with all of you. So I'm going to take the days when you're all available. Let's do the part 2 and see what you can give to the audience. So before we leave, Kamal, is there anything you would like to leave with our audience?
I would love to leave everybody with a sentence that I leave all my clients with. Remember that you are the author of your own story. Do not allow circumstances or people to write your book. Find harmony and balance, and you will find, or you will reach, the I am possible.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kamal. You've heard from the man. You are the author of your story. You hold the pen. You write your own story, no one else. So I'm gonna come to Dr. Bigot. Anything you want to leave with our audience, please?
Yes, absolutely. And one thing that talking about the dark side, I would say one thing that I would love the audience to remember is you are all wonderful and beautiful as you are, with your dark side and with your bright and wonderful and shiny side, because that's what makes us all whole. If you always, we only have lights, you know, if you ever have lights and you never have darkness, you kind of like you never can truly fully appreciate actually the brightness. Actually, just like here I'm in Los Angeles in the midst of summer, people forget how sometimes it can get cold, and everybody's say, oh my goodness, how hot this is, because it does get quite warm in here. And so it's actually the contrast is what make you beautiful and whole. And yes, you do want to face your dark side to bring small lights. And then as you do that, you might come up with more dark side, because as you, but like all of you say, we continue to grow. So you are all whole and wonderful and beautiful as you are, with the dark and the bright side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. You've heard from her. Please take notes. Over to you, Nadia. Anything you would like to leave with our audience?
Yes, of course. Just quickly, guys. It all starts with accepting all parts of yourself. So when you really accept yourself for who you truly are, all the baddies, all the goodies, and you stop judging yourself, you will start judging other people, and you will really start living a wonderful life of freedom. That is true freedom, when you really let go of all these judgments and all these fears, and accept for who you are and learn about yourself. Your life will completely change, and a lot of pain and suffering will disappear from your life. Because all of these beliefs and judgments that you hold in your head everywhere are really holding you back from reaching your full potential, from learning about yourself, and from really seeing not only yourself but everyone else for who they truly are. Instead of really connecting with someone else on a deeper level, you judge them, and you really put a barrier between yourself, but in reality you could have really beautiful connection with that person. So when you really accept yourself, when you accept your dark side, when you accept all the things that you don't like about yourself and you judge about yourself, your life will completely change, and you will start creating beautiful, meaningful relationship with other people, and the life will become amazing adventure. So that's my message. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Acceptance is very important. That means you will never feel, even if you've been misunderstood, you will not take that into consideration, because this is who you are as a person. And if you are a lovely person, some people, they question people who are nice as well. So that's why it's important to know who you are and just live the way you want. Clara, would you please like to leave anything with our audience?
I would like to remind everyone that we are all on a journey. And your journey is so you, is customized to you. It is important to understand that and not to let the external noise, because there is a lot of noise, not to allow the external noise to derail you from your journey. Don't invite anyone to dance with you. Your dance of life is unique to you. Listen to your own drum beat, listen to your own music, be your true, authentic self, and you cannot go wrong. So don't ever for a minute consider pulling the plug on yourself. Imagine if I had pulled the plug on myself way back when I was in depression regarding the death of my sisters. I wouldn't be here being the person who is offering succor and wisdom and influence right now in this world. So one thing I would say is this, when the stars up above shine, it is beautiful. But the true definition of beauty is when you and I shine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The stars will keep shining, and I'm holding my light. The stars will keep shining, and everyone, Nomsa is holding her light. Hold your own light. Be the creator of your destiny. And Kamala said, write your own story. And Nadia says, acceptance. And Dr. Biged, she says, you have to accept who you are. I am holding my light. Thank you so much. Live with grace, everyone. If you want to get in touch with all these speakers, please, you can get in touch with them through Legacy Wealth Talk. You can leave a message on the video, and I hope they will leave their contacts at the bottom of the video. So people can get in touch with you guys. Leave your contacts, and it's been amazing. We're gonna have part 2, and I really enjoyed having you guys. And Tarini and I, we are very, very grateful that you are giving us your time. And we'll see you soon, audience. We love you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do, Nomsa.
I'm still holding my life.